I blew up my shoulders with only 2 exercises, and yes, I'm not going insane. You only need a couple of exercises to get a good pair of shoulders. Let's start with some basic anatomy. So the deltoids, being the shoulders, or delts if you prefer, have 3 heads: the front, the mid and the rear. Now, although there are 3 heads of the shoulder, we may not even need 3 exercises to hit a good portion of the shoulders, and this is because firstly, the priority for wider delts is going to be the mid delt, right? So width from the side, where you get this rounded portion of the shoulder from the front. So you can see my shoulders coming out, and this means that you're filling out your shirts more and you've got more width from the front. The key exercise for doing this is lateral raises. Now, you can do this through dumbbells or cables, pick a certain variation that you prefer, but the main message here is do not overthink this, just add more weight over time. So what I did was I went from dumbbell lateral raises, starting with 10 kilos, 12 kilos, and I've worked all the way up towards 18 to 20 kilo dumbbells. Now, your form doesn't have to be perfect, you can use a little bit of momentum, but realistically, if you go from 10 or 12 kilo dumbbells up to 18 kilo dumbbells or 20 kilo dumbbells, are your shoulders going to grow? Of course they will. So keep it simple. We need to be applying progressive overload over time to increase the weights. Get more reps per set, then add weight on when you feel ready to go up in weight. Do that with decent form, your shoulders are going to grow. And by prioritizing lateral raises first, or on a separate day when you're fresh, doing this a couple of times a week because your delts can recover quite well, you will see those delts blow up and get wider shoulders doing this by prioritizing your lateral raises first for the side delt. The second one you're going to need, and this is pretty much it, is a shoulder press of some form. So a shoulder press could be with dumbbells, it could be an overhead press with barbell, it could be a machine variation, whatever your preference is. The benefit of doing a shoulder press is that it's going to hit the front of the shoulder, the front delts and the mid delts as well. So we're going to get plenty of stimulus across all of the main regions of the shoulder. I'll come on to the rear delts in a second at the back of the shoulder, but because the front delts are going to get a lot of stimulus from a shoulder press and from any form of incline chest press, so anytime you're on an incline bench and doing some form of chest press, pushing in an upward motion, you're still going to be using some of the front delts. So I think adding in things like front raises is probably unnecessary for most people. I just looked like I was doing a weird dance there doing that, but front raises are probably going to be a waste of time for most people. Not going to do any harm, but not a massively efficient use of, gym exercises and gym time. If we know there are 3 heads of the deltoids of the shoulders, why am I only suggesting doing 2 exercises? What are you doing, Dan? What are you talking about? Why isn't there a 3rd exercise recommended for the rear delts? This is because people don't realise that the rear delts are involved in most heavy back movements, right? So when you're pulling your shoulder blades together, retracting your shoulder blades, the rear delts are involved. So if you are going into like a heavy lat pull down or a row, and you're going into this motion here, driving down, the back of the shoulder is actually getting involved when you're going into a pull down or a rowing motion like that, and you're going to be involving a bit of the rear delts in this. So I would say for most people, it's not going to be a vital thing to include. And what is actually realistically going to make more of a significant difference to your appearance and your physique? Is it going to be nailing loads of face pulls and reverse flies and building out that rear delt that most people can't see, and the other people appreciating it are going to be guys in the gym, as the joke is? But what is going to make more of a difference to your physique in all seriousness is probably going to be adding width to your frame through the side delts and what's more visible on the front, so the front and the mid delts. Rear delts are going to get a lot of stimulus from your heavy pull downs, rows, pull-ups. If you want to throw in a rear delt fly, a rope face pull, or some form of exercise that's targeting the rear delts like a reverse pec deck, it's not going to do any harm, and of course you can throw that in if you want. But for me personally, I've just prioritized really heavy back exercises, pull downs and rows, and then my shoulder press and my lateral raises, and I'm really happy with my overall development of my delts. I may occasionally throw in a face pull for a bit of variety and more for shoulder mobility, but in terms of building muscle, you only really need a heavy lateral raise and a shoulder press. When it comes to selecting any particular exercises and training certain muscles in the gym, do not lose sight of the bigger picture, and always remember that building muscle comes down to really pushing yourself on those sets. You can't be acting pretty in the gym, you need to be pulling some weird faces, alright? So it's super important that you are really pushing yourself on those sets in the gym, and then applying progressive overload over time. Simply put, adding more reps, adding more weight over time. So if you're doing 3 sets and you start on 6 reps on a particular weight, can you build that up to 10 reps on each of those 3 sets? And then can you go up to the next set of dumbbells or add a bit of weight to each side of the bar on a barbell or on a cable or a machine? So whatever method you are using in terms of the variation of the shoulder press and the lateral raise, you need to be adding more weight over time through progressive overload. And it really is as simple as that. Usually people are looking for new exercises, novel exercises to keep it interesting, and thinking that they are missing something because you're either doing too many sets on your shoulder exercises, not applying progressive overload, so you're tiring yourself out such that the weights stall. Then you get frustrated, because I've been there myself. You get frustrated that you don't think you're making progress, and you look for new exercises that you're missing or some certain solution, maybe a supplement, when actually the answer is staring you in the face. It's really, really simple to get big shoulders. Shoulder press, lateral raise, a rear delt exercise if you want it, and just focus on pushing those weights up as quickly as you can over time. Your shoulders will grow. I hope you found these tips useful. If you did, drop the video a like, hit subscribe for more simple fat loss and muscle building tips, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you for watching.